anything out of this, raise your hand if you're getting something out of it today. Just want to make sure you guys have a pulse. All right, good. You guys are doing good after lunch. So we got another great opportunity here to receive some other things. BD Erickson's going to come and share about leading by example. So come on up, BD. Appreciate you, man.
You're so gracious. Beyond what I deserve. Thank you. All right. Well, we'll lead by example, but we're going to have fun. I'm not a serious speaker, but I hope at the end you feel that what we visited about is deadly serious. I'm a professional leadership coach. I used to work for Robbins Research. Tony Robbins is one of the leading leadership coaches on the planet. And I was blessed and maledicted to spend about 10 years flying around the world coaching on leadership. I set the world record walking on fire barefoot at 55 feet in 2001 in Kona, Hawaii. Thank you. Yeah. It's been broken since then. I'm no longer the champ, but
you can always try again.
I could, right? See, look at him leading me into doing something fun again. So one of the things that I found for myself is I spent 10 years going to seminars all over the world, Singapore, Hong Kong, London, Paris. Sounds great, but I wasn't at those resort or destination locations to scuba dive. I was there to be in a class. And part of it's thrilling if you learn something great. Part of it kind of sucks because you want to be scuba diving or surfing, not in a room listening to a guy like me, right? And what would happen oftentimes is you go there and the information is great. And you get inspired and you high five and you cheer and you feel great, right? What happens when you go home? You go home, you're back around your family, you're back around your friends, you're back at your job, and I give you 3 days and you are back to feeling the exact way you felt when you went. Am I lying? No, it's reality. So you learn these great things and you go, boy, I'm going to implement this, I'm going to implement that. Change is in the air, baby. Your life will never be the same. I walked on fire, right? Ah. And then you get home, and as we stated, you've got a couple of things that you're going to implement, and what you find at the office is people think they hate change. They're convinced they hate it. So you try to implement a couple of things, even though in your mind you know it's going to work great, it fizzles a little bit, and 1 week later, what happened? Sorry, you are back doing you. The way you've always taught, the way it's always been, and all that stuff. And so what I would love for you guys is to coach you in a way that when you get home, it's almost impossible for you to not implement some of the awesome stuff that you learned. Because the whole idea behind this class is for life to never be the same. For you not to go home and do the whole thing, for you to rise up, for you to raise your game. And when you raise your game as a leader, what do? You drag other people with you, right? That's what a leader does. It almost creates a vacuum and you pull it. Tad made some great points. There's a lot of ways to lead. I can lead because I'm the colonel and I will throw you in the brig if you don't mind. That's a way. The military gets a lot of stuff done that way. That's a way to do it. I'm your boss. I will fire you if you don't do it. He'll do it, but he's going to grumble the whole time, right? Or you can inspire people. You can make them feel happy. You can make them feel loved. You can make them feel safe, and then they'll come with you. In fact, if I don't feel safe with you, if I don't feel that you love me, if I don't feel that you care about me or care what happens to me, I really don't want to go with you. But if I feel that you're worried about me and you care about me and you love me and I'm safe, I'll actually die for you. I would actually, if I love you that much, I'm grateful for the opportunity to show you that I care, right? Okay. We know that to be true, so how do we do it? I'm going to tell you some stories. Rather than just fill you with information, I'm going to tell you a couple of stories that I believe you'll be able to vibrate with. So I'm very careful saying never, because that's just rarely the case. I'm careful saying always, because that's rarely the case, right? You got to be careful saying always and never. I'm saying always and never. It's never where you go. It's always who you're with. It's never where you go. It's always who you're with. I'm going to take you on a journey to always and never, okay? For this illustration, illustration number 1, we're all single. You're not married, you don't have a girlfriend, we're all single, okay? And here's what's happened. Here's what's happened. Tonight we have a date night planned by a third party who set up a blind date, who thinks we are done being single. They found us the ultimate mate. They're paying for everything, so we're going. You can't get out of it, we're going, okay? So the date starts like this. If you're a lady, it starts with on your bed some flowers and some boxes. You open the first box. It is the blackest, slinkiest Dolce & Gabbana original dress that you've ever seen. When you hold it up against you, you know it's going to fit, and you can't help tear a little bit because you haven't left the house and you already know it's going to be awesome. As you open the box, it's accessorized, great shoes, great little leek necklace. It's going to be a wonderful night. Before you leave the house, right, you've shaven, you're shiny, you look wonderful, right? You smell nice, your hair looks great. Before you leave, you know that this is one of the funnest things that you've done in a long time, and you needed it, you deserve it, you're so glad it's happening. For the gentleman, it's a tuxedo. Have you worn formal wear in a long time? Probably not, right? The shoes are shiny and it's cufflinks and you put it on. We don't tear up, but God damn it, I feel like James Bond. You know what I mean? All I need is a PPK, you know? Okay, so before we even leave the house, we're beaming with what could be one of the greatest nights of our life. The date is going to flow like this. The limo is going to pick you up, drinks in the limo. It's going to take you to the most exclusive restaurant that there is in town. You're going to order whatever you want, and the chef knows that you're coming and has some specials prepared just for you and your date. Then after drinks, if you drink, and some food, and some conversation, the music is going to start, and you notice that the doors of the side of the restaurant, the wall, it's not walls. It's huge rolling doors. And they roll the doors out, and it's the beach and the ocean. You hear the waves, the moon is down, and what you're going to do now is the party's going to roll outside and you're going to dance in the sand. You're going to hold up your dress just a little bit, and his shoes are going to come off and his cuffs are going to roll up, and you're going to dance on the beach. Does it get any better than that? Different, maybe, not better, only different, right? But there's a rub. When you meet your date to get in the limo, rather than being tickled blueberries like you and tell you how fabulous you look, they're grumpy about the belt or an accessory. Doesn't fit right. It's kind of sticky or not their favorite or the wrong size. And you're like, shut up. Shut up. We're about to go have fun. When they get inside the limo, rather than saying, I haven't been in a limo very many times in my whole life, I'm so excited, I love it so much, they're grumpy because around corners, they slide on the leather seat. Are you inventing stuff to be mad about? Really? They complain that the restaurant's noisy, some clangy, and when it's time to dance, they don't want sand in their feet. They hate sand, it gets everywhere. Did you have a nice time? No! Sucked! It sucked! One of the best possible nights you ever could have had, a memory that would have gone down in history for your life, instead was a crapola evening that you will remember as being ruined. Right? Okay. Date number 2. Now your friend is moving. And this is a lifelong friend who needs a favor and you can't get out of it. All right? This is what they need you to do. I need you to go to my storage shed. I know it's 100 degrees outside. I need you to go to my storage shed and empty all that crap into a truck. I'll tell you what's in there, but most of it's just got to go. So what I need you to do is load all that crap into the back of my truck, and then I need you to take it to the dump. I need you to go through the checkpoint at the dump, pay the money, I'll pay you back later, and then empty the truck into the dump. And we all know the dump has its own special smell, right? You know, I'm not lying. The dump has a smell that you know is the dump. Okay. The stage has been set. So the person that has the pickup is actually going to pick you up. Now, when they pick you up in the pickup, you go out and you're begrudging the fact that it's 100 degrees, it's Saturday, there's a lot of things that you could be doing today, and you're going to go do chores for a pal who's not going to pay you. You're doing it for love in the old emotional bank account, right? But when you get in the pickup, the person that you have to go with has a huge smile. And they greet you with a really warm, big, genuine smile. And they say, how did we get suckered into this, right? And that smile impacts you. And in a way, you say, you know what, no matter what, I'm glad I'm with this joker, not somebody else. Well, as the door comes up to the shed and the stuff starts to come out, there's one of those mannequins that you would build a dress around, right? Quite lifelike. Well, this person picks it up and starts to dance with it. And they're a pretty good dancer, but it makes you giggle. And then he begins to kiss it, like Pepe Le Pew is always that borderline rapist, kissy rascal that we all love, right? He's right on the edge of, too much. And you cannot help but fall in love with this person a little bit, because even though you're doing something hard, they are fun. They're beaming with fun. You go to the dump, it's the same thing at the dump. They're quite clever. And at the end of it, when the stuff is empty, when the truck is emptied, 2 lawn chairs come out, an ice cold 6-year beer that they've been hiding, and 2 BB guns. And you sit side by side and drink ice cold beer and shoot at rats. You never hit one because you're no good. But it's fun. Don't lie, it's fun. And so in your memory, forever, maybe the worst possible assignment was one of the funnest days of your life. And to this day, you love that person. That's a warm memory, and you miss them. It's never where you go. It's always who you're with. Always who you're with. So how do I change this channel?
It's not a channel.
Oh. All right. Woo! Number 1, the power of attitude. True leaders know that attitude is everything and it's contagious. It's never where you go. It's always who you're with. Because the attitude of that person that you're with dictates the experience. Period. It dictates your experience. And number 2, it's totally contagious. Because when the first person was a Grumbledorf, that's what I call him, you became a grump. But when the second person was fun, you had fun. You experienced it. It's not where you go, it's who you're with. And the attitude is everything, and it's contagious. So, is it fun going to work? Is every assignment fun? Is it called, let's get up tomorrow and go to fun? No, it's called going to work. It's not always fun, right? But let's say you had a really easy assignment, but people are grumpy. It sucks, they're murmuring. And you know, we all have one Grumbledorf at work, right? Who can suck the fun out of anything, right? They can just suck the pleasure right out of it, right? Or let's imagine in our mind's eye that we have a task that is actually more challenging. It's actually more difficult. But the people are fun. The leader is fun. The room is fun. The culture is one where you're safe and it's fun. Does it change it? It absolutely dictates the experience. So let's pretend in our mind's eye that I'm Grumbledorf. See, you can't be sad or grumpy. You have to do sad or grumpy, right? You can't just be it. I can't be grumpy like this. I have to do grumpy. Everybody stand up, would you? Stand up, stand up, stand up. All right. So now, oh my God, we're so grumpy. We're so grumpy. How do we look when we're grumpy, you guys? Come on, play along. How do you look when you're grumpy? Turn your shoulders in. Come on, do it. Head down. Oh, breathing, this sucks. This guy again. Oh, I hate it here. I hate everything. I hate my life. I'm going to blow my brains out, right? Put your head down, shoulders in, right? Oh, this is terrible, right? You know, you feel awful, don't you? Okay, now we're going to do something else. Take your pen. Now, stand up straight. Take your pen. You're going to put your pen in your mouth. Now, put your pen in your mouth. Come on, play along. You can't touch it with your teeth. With your lips, rather. With your teeth, and you can't touch it with your lips, okay? Put it in. Put in your teeth, okay? Now look up. We're going to look up. All right, now you got to shake your tushy. Shake your tushy. Come on. Now, here's the assignment. You ready? Feel bad. Feel bad. Feel bad. All right, give yourself a hand. Nice job, you guys. Thanks for playing along. So I don't know if you realize what just happened. 2 things just happened that if you're wise, if you're coachable, your life will never be the same again. Your life will never be the same again. Let's say that out loud one time. We're going to say, my life will never be the same again. Say it. My life will never be the same again. Okay, here's why. We learned 2 super duper important things. Life-changing. Number 1, it's never where you go, it's who you're with. The attitude of the prominent people dictates the experience. No matter how terrible something is, if you make it fun, it's fun. No matter how awful something is, if you make it fun, it's fun. Number 1, attitude is everything and it's contagious. Number 2, we can create that attitude in a heartbeat. We went from totally blue to laughing in 4 seconds. Your life is forever changed. You can have fun and make sure others have fun everywhere you go, every time for life, if you're willing to do it. There's the pinch. Am I a leader? How am I going to show up? I secretly know that I can talk all you guys into having fun in 5 seconds. I know that I can. Or I can make you all feel like crap in 5 seconds. I know that I can, right? So, attitude will dictate the experience, and you control the experience and can change it in a heartbeat. Your life is never the same. So now how do we get it going? How do we make that happen? How do we go home and not get into that same crapola funk that is a vacuum for us in our life, our whole life, right? First thing I do when I'm about to enter my manufacturing floor, and I'm also a power systems engineer, I'm your solar guy, just by the way. We manufacture components for the solar industry and ship them all over the world. Are there times when the circuit board shipment doesn't show up? Yeah! Are there times when you run out of a key component and you call them and they go, awesome, we're 2 months out? You're like, no, I needed you to ship them today, overnight. And they say no, right? That is the reality of where we live. So before being in our business and being a human. So before I enter our manufacturing floor, I know that they're not at fun, they're at work. But I know that the leader's attitude can dictate the experience that they have, and that I can set the stage for that experience in a heartbeat. So before I go in, I get my pen, and I take my tissue, right? And I go in and I go, oh man, hooray, thanks, thank you. You want to know what? I know that you can have a lot of different jobs. And the fact that you've chosen here to work with us and help me, I can't thank you enough. The truth is, I've been asked to lead on this project, and I couldn't do it without you. The truth is, if I had to do it alone, I would be doomed. I cannot do it without you. Thank you for coming. Right? When was the last time somebody looked you dead in the eyes and told you they couldn't do it without you? Thank you for coming. When did that happen last? Let me ask you a better question. How did that feel? It feels great, doesn't it? It feels great. To have somebody actually stop, look you dead in the face and say, if I had to do this on my own, I couldn't get it done.
That's good, man.
I have to have people show up to do it.
Yeah.
The fact that you could be at 100 different jobs and you've elected to come and help me, I'm gonna cry. Thank you so much. When you begin to lead with gratitude and love in your heart, they won't just do what you ask. They will look for the opportunity to repay you.
Wow. Hold on just a second. One more that thought. You guys know that the most successful business leaders found this out, that one word, gratitude. That's the one thing they found in common with most of the most successful leaders is being grateful for what you have. That's really good, man. You touched on something powerful.
I try at least once a week. Try is the battle cry of the loser, but not everybody works every day. Try is the battle cry of the loser, just so you know. I make a point to talk to each person on my team. Whenever I enter the manufacturing floor, they all know my sound. I go, woohoo! Woo! That's what I say when I roll in, woohoo! Because I'm setting the stage for their experience. Because I'm paying them, I want them to have fun. I don't want them to hate it. I want them to have a good experience, have a good job. When we're at a barbecue and people say, what do you do? And you hand your business card out, that's a part of your identity. That's a huge part of our life. We're at the barbecue. I am a single guy, so I'm looking for wallflowers, right? At the barbecue. You engage other people. They ask you what you do. You give a business card. That's a huge part of who we are and our identity as human beings. When someone hands you a business card from my company, do you know what I want the person to say? Oh, lucky. Can you get me on? Is there a spot? Right? And the person almost wants to take it back because they don't want you taking their job. Right? Do you know how easy it is to set that experience? And it doesn't matter if they're going to the dump. It doesn't have to be the best job. They have to feel safe there. They have to feel loved there. They have to know they're appreciated there. They have to know that they matter. They're part of something that I can't do without you. Part of something that we can only get done if you come and help. And I'm so grateful that you spend your time coming here and helping me. You all deserve to be told that. Every single person in this room, that is the reality of your life, and I'm sorry that you weren't told it. You deserve to be told it because that's true. He said the people are everything. If everybody goes home, all of our companies shut down that day right then. Right? So if you would like to hear that, don't you think you deserve to tell it to other people? Of course you do. And you're going to, right? You're going to stop people and you're going to tell them and you're going to thank them. And they're going to feel appreciated and they're going to feel loved. And in that moment, you will set the stage for the experience. And in that moment, you've put something in their emotional bank account. And an emotional bank account is incredibly valuable because the emotional bank account will drive you to go to the storage shed and the dump. It will. And everybody can be beholden to you in that way. And not beholden because you're the boss, not beholden because you pay them money. Beholden because you care about them. Because you love them and you care about them and you're grateful that they're there. So let's say you're gonna follow the colonel into battle, right? Well, this guy's a doofus. He doesn't care about you. He's never asked you if you have kids. And he's gonna send you in there. Bullets are flying. You don't wanna go. Well, let's say you're gonna follow the lieutenant and he loves you and he talks about your family every day and he asks about your kids and he asks how everyone's doing. And he tells you that I would go with you if I could. I'd go first. It has to be you, but I love you. And you know that he cares about you. Is that a different experience? It's a completely different experience. So what did we learn? Number one, that the attitude of the leadership sets the table for the experience, not the duty. And number two, that we can control that. And number three, when we do it, we control it in the best way, then we create a culture, we create an environment where I am safe. I'm not in jeopardy of losing my job. They're actually grateful that I'm here. In fact, I'm told that I'm grateful that I'm here, and you're part of something. And we all want to be part of something. Do you know that when Google or you get that spam monkey, that little research thing, and you're asked to take, what are those called? You're asked to take a poll. Surveys. God, we do them all the time. Asked to take a survey, and they ask you why they go to work. Do you know that money is never in the top three?
Yeah.
Money is not even the top three reasons why people go to work.
That's good. Yep.
Right? We want to be a part of something. We want to contribute. We want to grow. We want to be part of something beyond ourselves. And since we all have to go, wouldn't you rather go where it was fun? I would. People think that I'm this dynamo dude. No, I'm not. I'm super duper lazy. That's why I'm in a hurry to get my stuff done. I just get back all day to get my stuff home because I want to go home, man. I want to get done. I'm not a dynamo. I'm lazy by nature. I just move so fast nobody knows it. Right? I want to go to a place where I'm safe to be myself. And so that's one thing. So I'm going to make sure that I follow my thing a little bit because I will ramble. Attitude is everything in its creator. Okay, number two, motive. What's your motive? Are you really just doing what I just taught you to trick people and get the most out of them? No, you're not. If you knew that you could genuinely make somebody sad or genuinely make somebody glad, what would you pick? From the heart. Glad every time, right? Glad every time. Thank you for coming. Glad every time. If you can impact someone's life for the good, would you like to do it? You'd love it. I mean, think about if the role of your life was making people's lives better. If that really was your destiny. Well, what did she do when she was on the planet? She made people feel awesome. She made people feel smart.
Yeah.
She made them feel important. She made them feel pretty. That's your role. What better life is there that you could live? Right. I don't know what it would be. So do great leaders get a bunch of people to follow them? No, Hitler did that. David Koresh did that. Getting people to follow you is not what makes you a great leader. It's impacting other people's lives and helping to create more leaders.
Yep.
So I have a saying. Everybody's got one of these. Every coach has got one of these. So my saying is, don't pass the torch. Light more torches, man.
Yeah.
Light more torches. Yeah. If it's always about me, then it's always about me.
Wow.
Gag. Puke. If it's always about you, it's always about you. It can't always be about you. Do you know why we go first as leaders? To show you that it's possible. To show you that it doesn't kill you. To show you that it doesn't tear your arm off. Right? We go first to show you that it's possible. Once you know that it's possible and can be done, the first thing I need to do is get out of the way so that you can go. And when you let them go, it's always kind of scary at first, but you know what's fun? Really great network marketing companies, one of the first things they do when they have their big convention is grab somebody out of the audience and give them an award, one they didn't know they had coming. And it's that big glass diamond that's kind of etched, and they go, what's happening, what's happening? And they call their name, what's happening, what's happening? And they go up and they give them that big diamond, and they tear. I don't care who you are, I don't care how tough a cowboy you are, you stand no chance. You are dog meat. When you are loved and you are recognized and you're respected and it's surprised, you melt, because as human beings, we need it. As human beings, we crave it, and as human beings, we almost never get it. We're told what we did wrong. We're told what we can get better. We're told what we can improve. Very rarely are we thanked for what we did and told that we were done right. One of the next things they do is they hand somebody that big, huge check. Give them the big, huge check and the microphone, and then they say, will you please share with everybody else what you did that made you so successful? People love the opportunity. They love the opportunity to share with other people what they did that made them so successful.
Come on, that's it.
Right?
Yep.
And if you call that person, do they want to hold back or do they want to help you?
Yep.
They're going to gush on you. You're not going to be able to hang up.
Yeah.
They're going to help you so much that you're going to go, I got to go, I got to go, I got to go, right? So imagine if the place that you work right now had that culture. That culture is easy and it's totally within your power. Now, does it happen automatically? No. No. Can doing something over and over feel like it's kind of hard? Well, yeah, but it's not impossible either, right? And what's the outcome? What's the effect? So something else happened that Tad talked about. So let's say you've got a person on the production floor and they're really great at their job. They're on time, they're dependable, they're good at making this part. Now, Susie, who's the manager right now, she gets a job somewhere else. So she's off to greener pastures. Now we've got to have somebody that's going to fill that gap. Well, this person, they make this great part, they're good at it, they're on time, let's slap them in a leadership role. Now, does that mean they're a good leader? No, I don't care how good of a person you are, you need a couple of skill sets. You need to be taught a couple of things so that you speak to people right, so that you listen to people right, so that you communicate with people right. And if you don't give them that, then what happened? Maybe they hate the new job. They're uncomfortable, they're not trained for it, they're not good at it, and where they used to come, they were good at their job, they liked their job, they made a great part. You don't have that person making a great part anymore. Instead, you've got a crap old leader. So we don't have the person making the part, and we've got a crap old leader, right? So that doesn't serve anybody or the greater good, right? So a leader oftentimes can be someone who's naturally gregarious or something else, but it's a lot more than that. It's skill sets that anybody can learn, and any of us could be a masterful leader by simply learning some skill sets and then having the personal power to do some of the things that we're taught. And one of those things we forget is motivation, is motive. Yeah. Stop worrying about me, stop worrying about my role and my job, and start making it about other people. Start making it about them and making sure that they're happy, making sure they have everything that they need, and that they know they're appreciated. And in that moment, if you're not an eloquent speaker, you will be forgiven. If you're not the coolest, hippest person in that moment, you will be forgiven. It's not about you. It's about your gratitude for them being there. You're recognizing them as a person and offering them what they need to be successful in the job. You guys follow me so far? Amen to that. All right, hallelujah. So when you do that, you begin to create other great leaders. And here's one of the things, one of the problems if you don't, your office, your company has Grumbledorf. Grumbledorf freaking works there. And Grumbledorf can ruin best date night ever. They're that powerful, right? So you got to start creating some other leaders so that it's not only great when you are in the room. Can you be in the room all the time? No, you're not always going to be in the room. So by inspiring other people and teaching them that around here, that's how we behave. Around here, one of the rules is, around here we have fun. That's the rule. Want to know the rule? Around here, we have a great time, all right? And around here, we're happy, and we treat each other with love and respect, and we're all happy that we're here, right? And we all give each other space to be themselves and be safe and be happy that we're here too. Hallelujah.
Lots of coffee.
True leaders, Red Bull, whatever you want. True leaders compel others to follow with care and connection. If you're cared about, it's a different feeling than if you feel that they don't give a rat's tushy. It's a different feeling. So one of the ways that we get there, we've done some exercises on some fun ways we get there. Another way that we get there is how we listen to people. Do I listen or ask you a question, engage you, and then interrupt you while you're trying to tell me? Or second guess you or speak over you? This is a big thing in relationships, okay? Can you get some relationship advice? Relationships, okay? Big thing in relationship. When it's your turn to talk, I can listen to you two ways. I can listen to you with what I'm going to say next. That's not right. I'm sticking that upper bottom. That's not what happened. That's not the way it was. I can listen to respond, right? Or I can listen to actually learn. How was the experience for you? very few people in relationships actually listen to learn. We listen to respond because you're not right. I'm smarter than you. I'm going to use my words, and I'm going to correct you and make you feel like Dookie. Right? Relationships. Okay. You want to listen in a way that you actually gather the information. There's a couple reasons why this is important. Number 2 illustration. Our first time we went to the date and the dump. Number 2, there is a coffee shop on the corner of a rather busy street. We got traffic going this way. We got traffic going this way. And our coffee shop is right here. People at the coffee shop are outside. They're enjoying their latte or their double espresso, and they're visiting and they're doing their thing as cars are whizzing by and pedestrians are taking their turn. There's always a mountain biker or two, and then there's that delivery guy on the bike who we all kind of admire somehow. Those bicycle messenger delivery guys, those guys kick total ass, don't they? I don't want to be one, but I like them. I like them. At a party, I'm going to post up by that guy. Right? I don't know what it is. Don't lie, they're magical. Okay. So all of a sudden, we hear the screech of brakes, we hear a horn, we hear the smash of metal, maybe even smell tire or that hot radiator fluid. You all know what hot radiator fluid smells like. We all do. Now, the police come and they begin to question people at the coffee shop about what happened. There is an anomaly. There's something that happens that's so well documented, police actually have a name for it. It's when 2 eyewitnesses saw the exact same thing and give what? 2 totally different stories.
Yeah.
Somebody lying? Why? Somebody got an agenda? Why? No. But it happens all the time. In fact, if you ask every single person outside at the coffee shop, will they all give you a varying detail? Of course. Yes. So why? Well, maybe where this person was sitting, and here's what's interesting too. Since I saw it, I heard it, I smelt it. If you give a different story, you're lying. You have to be lying, because I was there. I saw it. Different story, she's a liar. Right? Aren't we like that? So if the boss asked me what happened, and I was standing right there, I watched you two, I saw it, I'm going to tell, I'm telling, and I'm going to tell what happened. If either of you tell a different story, you have to be lying. You have to be, because I was there. Interesting. So one of our people at the coffee shop has to be lying? Is that really true? Well, let's give more of the story. Where these people were sitting is that huge bushy tree. They can't see past the tree. They can only see from here forward. Now the person on this side, the stop walk sign is right there. It's got the big, no red buster sign through it, right? This person had their headphones on. They're listening to their music. This guy is with the prettiest date he's ever had in his life. He's never dated a girl this pretty. He can't see anything but her hair and her eyes. He can't look anywhere else, right? So one of the guys, too, actually has ridden a mountain bike many times. He rode a mountain bike to work or to school for 4 years of undergrad degree. Was on a mountain bike all the time. Is convinced that drivers are always trying to kill him. That's his personal experience. Now, one of the other guys drives to work, and there's always those rotten hippie mountain bikers, and they're always trying to scratch his car, and they don't pay attention, right? It's true. So what happens is nobody was lying. Nobody was lying. They saw, what they couldn't see, heard what they heard or couldn't hear, and gave their experience. I'm telling you right now, there's someone in your life who you really liked or loved. They're not in your life anymore. They're not your friend anymore, your boyfriend anymore, girlfriend anymore. They're not. They lied. I'm telling you right now, no. They experienced it different. They genuinely experienced it differently, and you could not shut up and listen and hold space. You are responding to correct, and you're not in that relationship anymore. That friend is lost. That lover or whoever is lost. So, as leaders, part of our role is not to listen to respond. Our role as leaders is listen to learn, to gather the information. The impact that will have on people will totally blow your mind. Because right now, when they're listened to by almost everywhere in their world, their kid, whoever else. That person has their own agenda. I really want to go to soccer. I really want to do this. I really need this new outfit. I really need whatever, right? They have not had a person who was coached, who was a good leader, who could stop, quiet their own mind, and not listen to them to correct or respond them, but really listen to them to gather the information. If you do that to people, you will create a bond. You will create a bond of trust. When you begin to create a bond of trust, they now trust you. We talked about this earlier. They won't just do what you ask. They will go beyond because they want to please you, because you have invested in their emotional bank account, right? You've invested in them as a person. You see and appreciate them as a person. So we've already decided, we've already agreed that we don't really want to lead great to manipulate people. We don't. We want to lead great to make people feel happy and make them feel connected and expand their world, right? And to do that, we're willing to do a couple things. How am I on time? I'm great? Okay. Woo! You guys are in trouble. Okay. Character. A leader knows this information, right? A leader went to a seminar. Great people got up and told them wise pearls, right? And a great leader now wants to go home and implement these things. And I'll tell you the easiest way to implement. You ready? Just be it for yourself. Just do it and own it and be it for yourself. It's very easy to tell people, do as I say, not as I do. Don't be that person. Don't be that person. Do it. Go to the restroom, shut the door, go somewhere, put your pen in your mouth, shake your behind. Get yourself in that good state, because you know that you could go from being grumpy about the phone call you just got, or your rotten kid at home, or the circuit board's not being here, and you could vomit that all over everybody by accident, right? We have a tendency to do that. Vomit how we're feeling all over everybody else. Now I can do that. You're a leader. You're a champion. You're a leader of men, right? When I say men, I mean mankind. That's who you are. So you have the personal power to go to your office in the restroom, you shut the door, put your pen in your mouth, you shake your butt, and first of all, get yourself in that empowered state. So that when you enter the room, you enter, woohoo, with a smile. I'm glad you're here today, thanks, right? And you impact that. Next, you're gonna think about your motivation. Why am I really doing this? Am I really doing this so that the whole company makes more money? No, that's gonna be an outcome of the fact that I do want them to like me. I want to pretend in my brain that I don't care what people think. I tell myself all the time, I don't care what people think. Well, no, I totally care. I totally care what people think. Hi, I'm BD, I care what you think. I can't help it. I can't help it. I want to be liked. I want to be loved. I want you to think I'm a friend. I want you to think I'm fun. I want you, if you're thinking of names to a barbecue, I want you to think of me and come, right, and invite me. Everybody feels like that. The person that tells you they don't care what people think cares desperately what people think. They just don't want to be let down anymore. They don't want to be hurt anymore. They don't want to cry anymore. I don't care what people think because it hurts when they don't love me. And I'm tired of feeling hurt. I'm tired of feeling like crap, right? Okay, so your motivation now is what? That you're not going to let anybody on your watch feel like that. You want to know why? Because it's not true. You do love them. You do want to help them. And you're going to go out of your way to make sure that happens. So when you enter the room, I don't know if yours is a woohoo or not. That's mine. You're going to pick some people out. You're going to engage them straight in the eyes. And from the heart, you're going to speak the truth, that they matter, that you're glad they're there, that you couldn't get it done without them. And you will build a culture in your company that makes the culture at Apple seem dull. And I'm not teasing, because it's not about hype and ping pong tables. It's about adding genuine value to people's lives. And what you will do in them is begin to build a leader in them. How often are you a leader? You a leader at work? Come on, man, come on. You're a leader at home with parents and with your kids. You're a leader in your community. You're a leader in politics if that's what you choose to do. You're a leader in church if that's how you want to reach out, or that's how you want to show up. You can dictate in any situation how other people are feeling. You want to know how you dictate how they're feeling? Give them a huge smile from the heart. Give them a huge smile and let them know and feel your love and your beam. I know it's corny, but I'm telling you, you will be on more invite lists to barbecues than you can go to, because people will know that you care about them, they're of importance to you, and that you genuinely love them. And when you do that, you are a true leader. Forget work. You are somebody in your community. You are a force for good. That's my presentation. I love you, and I'm done. There you go. So I'm early. Shane said if you had any questions for any of us, you could ask him. He's not here. It's pretty simple, right? How do you guys feel? Good. Good job. Nice job today, you guys. So the reality, I'm being corny, the reality is that today you could have done a lot of things. And I know that I've sat through the seminar that was inspiring at the moment. As we stated, I came home and I wanted to do some of it, but within a couple days, I was back to being myself. I was back to my old life, my old routine, my own leadership styles. I really didn't grow or change or impact who I am, right? What we want to do is we want to change our thinking, our belief system, some common things that we've done so that our life will never be the same again. And I certainly hope, since all of you spent the time, you're all valuable people, you're all making money and have an important role, I hope that all of us speakers were able to impact you in a way that your life will never be the same and you're better leaders from here out.
Awesome.
Thank you. Hallelujah. All right.
Anyone have any questions or things that were like, oh my gosh, it's like, he's awesome, obviously, but I mean, were there some things that inspired you that kind of like stuck and resonate with you guys from what BD was sharing? Anybody? Come on, guys.
Say something nice.
Come on. You
So
guys didn't
hurtful.
get the message, obviously. No, I just teased.
Well, the biggest thing is smile goes a long way.
Yeah.
I mean,
The energy.
attitude.
The energy goes a long way.
How did you deal with the Grumbledores?
So Grumbledorf is tough. He asked a great question. How do I deal with Grumbledorf? Here's the thing about me. If you think you're impacted by other people's moods, I'll tell you what, I am super impacted by other people's moods. If somebody is a grump, if they speak to me hurtfully, or if someone's just a little short and snippy with me, man, I don't know why, it cuts me to the bone. I'm such a wimp. I don't know why I'm so sensitive, but I am. There was a guy who was a great employee for us. His name was Chris. Love him as a person. I don't want to hang out with him. You want to know why? He's a Grumbledorf. He doesn't find something to be happy about. He can ruin date night. He finds something. So what I do, to the best of my ability, number one, I put on my personal force field. Put on my personal suit of armor. You want to know why? He's not actually mad. He doesn't hate me. He doesn't dislike me. That's his style. And so I can't take his personal style personally. Otherwise, my feelings are going to be hurt. And I tell myself, he doesn't actually want to hurt my feelings at all. He wants to be my friend. He wants to be my pal. Sorry, I know I'm going on. You asked me. He wants to be my friend. He just doesn't know how to connect. He doesn't know how to show up in a way that bonds us together when he really wants that. So the first thing I do is I put on my personal force field. And then number two, I realize that him being grumpy and doing this, that's his style. Was it his mom? Was it his grandpa? Whoever, he's not doing it to hurt me. I got one more. Here's one of the things that happens. Okay, this young couple, handsome young guy, handsome young girl, they fall in love, they got tons of energy, they got tons of passion, the kissing is awesome, you know what else is awesome, it's great, they have a great time, they go out, totally in love, get married fast, right? It's great. Well, there are some hidden issues, all right? First of all, the young man, his last name is, what's his last name? What's a good Italian last name? Romo. All right, his last name is Romo. Okay. He grew up in a very Italian family. What do? They yell, they love, they're big, they're vulturous people. When, clean your room, I'm gonna! What's for dinner? Spaghetti! Right? I love you back! Right? They yell, they beller. When I was in like 10th grade, my family moved, and I ended up spending the summer with an Italian family, the Marinos. They yell everything. They yell at each other all the time. So what they do, and they're a big, loving family. They were yelling all the time, but there was no shortage of love in this home, okay? Now the girl, she was an academic. Both of her parents were professors. Their house is a friggin' library. You sit around, you read books, you improve yourself, right? The only memories that she has of yelling were the last 2 nights, the fights that ended to her parents' divorce. The only time she really remembers anybody screaming at anybody was the night that her parents finally divorced. So when something comes up, what's young Mr. Romo want to do? Well, he yells at her. He yells at her. How does she take that? He's leaving. You don't yell at someone unless you are so done with them and so angry with them, you're ready to leave. Now, does she yell back? Does she give him what he needs? No, she would never. What'd she do? She doesn't say anything. And he says, the silent treatment. In an Italian family, the silent treatment is you're out of love, you're leaving. Now, if they don't get some coaching, are they in trouble? They're in trouble. Is there a lack of love? No. No, that makes me cry. They're beaming with love. They have gobs of love. They have different rules. He yells, I love you. If you yell at her, she thinks you're leaving. She wants to be whispered, I love you. And she's going to whisper, I love you to him, and he's not going to feel it, right? So something that happens in our world a lot, you guys, we have different rules. We think they hate us. We think they're mad at us. They're not. They have different rules. So to answer your question, I believe that Chris has different rules than I do. And I'm not going to unlove him because I perceive that he has different rules. I hope that answers it. Yeah.
Anyone else?
Be careful if you ask it. I got a big answer.
Want some wisdom from Beatty? Some good stuff.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Awesome, man. It's been an amazing day. You guys feel like you're getting a lot today? Huh? Awesome. Good stuff, huh? It's cool because there's a different flavor from everybody, right? Not one of these presenters have been the same today. I don't know if you felt like there's a little bit different tweak on each one of these presentations. Does it help sometimes to receive it from different people? You guys ever think that sometimes when you have just the CEO or whatever being the only one that's the mouth, sometimes we need to listen to our team as well too, right? Maybe you need to give other people opportunity. We're developing leaders, so maybe you don't need to be the only one talking. So speaking of, I'm going to move on so that we can let other people talk. Now, if we could share this flyer for Edie, if somebody could grab those flyers over there real quick, that's a takeaway for you guys as a reminder to remind yourself of the 4 steps that we have for leading by example. All right. So we're going to have Bob come up, and you guys got those situational leadership questionnaires. I'm sure you guys got them all filled out and got it all detailed over lunch. You had plenty of time and you worked on those, right?
All right. So you should pull out your leadership instrument that you filled out earlier. This one. And this is what I call the moment of truth. You know, the president of SAS Scandinavian Airlines years ago said that they had 50,000 moments of truth a day. What do you think he meant by that?
Landings.
What's that?
Landings.
Well, sort of. Passengers. Yeah. That they interacted with passengers about 50,000 times a day, and that was their moment of truth. Whether they won that customer over or not, whether they treated that customer correctly, whether they did some of the things BD talked about, you know, in terms of engagement and interaction and what have you. So this is your moment of truth. Now, before we get into it, I just want to tell a quick story about an IBM engineer, because I promised someone that I'd tell them that story. So years ago, IBM had this really, really brilliant engineer. And like most companies, they promoted him up into a managerial position because that was the only way they had of increasing his pay. So, as soon as they did, productivity in his department plummeted, just went down. And they couldn't figure out what was going on. You know, so they sent him to training like this, and it didn't seem to happen. And they had performance reviews with him, and it didn't seem to happen. So finally, they took an internal coach, and they had that coach follow him everywhere he went. And what they found out is his people would spend anywhere from 3 days to 3 months on an engineering plan and put their blood, sweat, and tears into that plan, and they'd bring it into him, and the first thing he'd do is grab a red pencil. And he'd circle everything that was wrong with that plan. And the real problem was he was that bright. They were all mistakes. They were all things that had to be corrected. They were things that were going to get the organization in trouble or legal issues or whatever. So what they did is they told him, listen, what we want you to do is instead of grabbing that red pencil, ask people. You know, ask more questions like we've talked about today. You know, ask them what their thinking is. Try to get at what they're saying. And so he started doing that, and what he found is every once in a while he'd learn something. You know, oh, that's a different way, but that'll work. Okay. And as soon as he started doing that, the productivity started escalating. You know, it goes back to the 5-to-1 rule, you know, 5 positives to any 1 negative, the engagement, the positive stuff, you know, and I can't emphasize that enough, that you have to be willing to do that on an ongoing basis. Okay, so let's go ahead and pass out that scoring sheet. You're going to get a sheet that looks like this in just a second. And there are 2 sides to it, so makes perfect sense that we'll start with table 1, right? So if you get the wrong, you know, it's printed on both sides, so if you get the wrong one, just flip it over. And again, if I didn't give enough or you were short at the end, let me know. Okay, so because I'm not sure that we'll have enough time to score it completely, let me, before you start scoring it, there's something I want you to do, okay, with the instrument. What I want you to do is over here, I just want you to write R1, R2, R3, R4. And then with number 5, start over, R1, R2, R3, R4. And then do the same thing with 9, R1, R2, R3, R4. And you're going to get some more information about that in a moment. Don't worry about it at this point. Then what I want you to do is I want you to take and from the upper left-hand corner, draw a diagonal line through that box that that rectangle that the A is in. So it goes to the lower right-hand corner. And then you'll come to a box with an A in it. Do the same thing. Upper left-hand corner, all the way through to the lower right. Okay? So you've got a line going like this. Okay? And that should intersect the D. You draw a line through the D, through the C. So you'll be able to tell you've done that correctly because when you come to, if you just drop down 1 and come across, you'll come to number 5. Everyone getting that? And then with 5, you do the same thing. You draw a line through the C, a line through the D, a line through the B, and a line through the A. Yep. Good. Okay, and then finally you do 9, 10, and 11. So through the C, through the D, through the B, and through the B. Okay, so now what I want you to do is go ahead and score the instrument. Okay, so go ahead and, you know, if you answered situation 1A, you'd circle this A. If you answered it C, you'd circle this C. Let's say you answered situation 2A, you'd circle the A. Okay? And just go down and score yourself on all 12. And then once you have your responses done, you can just add up how many you have in each column. And every response is worth 1. So let's say you have A, B, and B. You'd put a 3 down here, etc., for each column. And you can tell you've done that correctly if you add it up across and it totals 12. Yeah, so one for each response. But you should be able to tell because it goes across and it'll add up to 12. And then I'm going to give you a one-pager that kind of outlines the model. Like I said earlier, we don't have enough time to go into the model in detail, but we're doing a course on November 8th. You can go to our website and find out more about it if you like this stuff. And Shane and I are talking about doing some collaboration too. So before you start reading that one-pager in too much detail, I want you to take your scoring sheet and turn it over. And so this time, what you're going to do is you'll see the A, B, C, and D are across the top. So be a little bit careful because now what you're going to do is, let's say situation 1, you answered at A, you'd circle the +2. Let's say situation 2, you also answered A, you'd circle the +2. So you come down A, however you answered, and that A, B, C, D is going to convert to a number this time. All right. Sounds like you're done. So let me, just a heads up, okay, because I think in the one-page handout I passed out, they call the consulting selling, and they call the joining participating, and they call the abdicating delegating. Okay? And actually the model would say that if you don't delegate appropriately, it can feel like abdication. If you do it appropriately, it's going to feel more like releasing or delegating. Okay, but I'll let you go back to the model and kind of study it and use that one-pager to understand where you're at and what the model is saying. Okay, but these scores down at the bottom are giving you information on your primary and secondary leadership style. So whichever one you score the highest in, that's your primary leadership style. That's the style that you use the most. If we asked you to role play it, you'd probably be able to role play it. You'd probably be able to identify places where you had used it and be able to articulate all of that. Okay, the secondary style is your fallback style. If that first one doesn't work, it's likely that you go to the second one. Okay, any that you have 1 or 0 in are probably a style that you don't know, that you don't use. If we asked you to role play, you'd have a harder time doing that. You probably couldn't come up with examples of where you used it. Anything you have 2 or more in, it's at least a style that you're familiar with. But here's what's interesting about scoring it this way, okay, is if you did those lines, okay, and let's take situation 2 for the example. Anytime you score to the left of the correct answer, so with situation 2, A is the correct answer. If you answered D, that's an example of overleading. So you're giving people too much structure when they don't need it. Okay, some of the stuff we talked about hanging over people's shoulders or not trusting them enough, or some of that. You're giving people too much structure. So sometimes you can see a pattern of, geez, I give too much structure all the time. Or, geez, in R3 situations, I give too much structure. Okay? Anytime you're to the right of the correct answer, you're not giving enough structure. You're underleading. So with situation 2, if you answered C or B, then those are examples of underleading. You're not giving people structure when they want it or need it. Now I had you write R1, R2, R3, R4. The reason I had you do that is the instrument, frankly, is a great training model. I like the model because it's behavioral based. It has to do with behaviors, and it's a lot easier to change behavior than it is personality. There are only a couple ways you can change a personality: mind-altering drugs, brain surgery, a significant emotional event, intensive counseling, some of those. And that's where earlier I was saying, be a great behaviorist. As a supervisor, you want to focus on behaviors. So what the R1, R2, 3, R4 does is if you go back to your instrument, you read situation 1, it's going to give you an example of an R1 situation, and that's typically defined as someone who is unable and unwilling. Now, unable, you know, maybe they've done the job before or they've done it in another company, but they don't know how you do it or they don't know what your expectations are. Unwilling, not that they're unwilling, don't want to succeed, but unwilling, nervous, or insecure. Okay, brand new employees are a great example there. Then you get to the R2, where employees are typically willing but unable, and I define them as the most dangerous employees in the world. Because what I do is I come into the boss and I say, boss, give me that project. I know I can do it. Please, please, please. I'll have it to you by Friday. I'm going on vacation. You'll love it, and I know you're presenting to the board Monday, but let me do it. Please let me do it. And the boss mistakes my willingness with ability and says, okay, Bob, go ahead, take it and run. I'm sure you're going to nail it. I come in Friday afternoon and say, here you go. Listen, I'm on my way to that big hunting camp and I'll be untouchable, but I'm sure you'll be satisfied. Okay? And so Friday about 4, he starts going through it and his response is something like, my God, what was he thinking here? This isn't clear. I don't understand this. This is going to have to be redone. And guess whose weekend gets destroyed? The boss's. Spends the weekend to get it ready for the Monday morning board meeting. But again, that's a great example of delegating inappropriately. You know, and the model teaches that because it's behavioral based. So you can go to situation 1, see that it's an R1 situation. You can go to 5, see that it's an R1 situation. You can go to 8, see that it's an R4 situation. And it gives you an idea of what those situations look like. Okay, we don't have time, but you can actually go to your responses too and see if they're indicators of this kind of leadership approach, this kind of leadership approach, this kind of leadership approach, or this kind of leadership approach. So it gives you some real behavioral focuses to do. And basically the leader has 2 choices, or a mix of 2 choices of behavior that structure into these 4 leadership styles. One style or one approach is a lot of focusing behavior or directive behavior or education behavior, telling people what to do. It doesn't matter what you call it, but it's that. The other kind is coaching or supportive or communication behavior. So same thing. But what a leader can do is a leader can say, okay, I need to do a lot of focusing and education behavior, not a lot of coaching behavior. That's an example of what telling looks like. Okay, I don't have to do much of either. You know, I just need to say, here's the result, here's what we need, here's the problem, and I know they can go out and do it. I can basically delegate the task to them. You know, or with this R2 situation, the consulting approach or the selling approach, I have to do a lot of coaching behavior because I don't want to destroy that individual's motivation, but I also have to keep giving direction and education and what have you because they still don't know how to do the task at hand. Okay, so that's the scoring of the instrument, that 1-pager giveaway. Yep, nope, that's it. Yep. So this is a handout for you to take with you. And once you understand the model a little bit better, all this does is give you an action plan or a homework assignment for applying the model. So this one simply, you know, I have situation 1 and situation 2, and I don't mean these up here. I mean you identify the things. So you identify with situation, you identify an individual or a follower that you're leading. You identify the specific task because readiness is always task relevant. Okay, no one has an overall level of readiness, so you identify the specific task and then you assess the individual's readiness level and specific criteria you're using. You identify your current leadership approach, what it should be, and then the behavioral changes and process to move from one to the other. Now, if you go back to that instrument, like I was saying, those leadership approaches, the ABCs on it, it'll give you strategies, behavioral descriptors of what to do differently. You know, for example, with situation 2, if, you know, this one where maybe you're giving a lot of structure, but you're not giving enough recognition, then that's simply, or enough support. That's simply, okay, I need to recognize them more. I need to say thank you. I need to listen, all of that. So to wrap, like I said earlier, make sure you always focus on behaviors and emotion. Change is a process, not an event. To be a remarkable leader, you need the soul of a poet and the hide of a rhino. And then this is the training certificate of completion we give to supervisors. So when you go through one of our supervisory courses, we give you this as your certificate. Oh, yeah. Or no, I can't. I will at my workshop. Table 2 is simply your score will, if it's between plus 12 and minus 12, that's about average. Plus 24 is perfect, and minus 24, find a different job. Everyone get one of these?
No, sorry. What's R3?
R3 is participatory, so it's a lot of encouragement, engagement, dialogue back and forth. But there's a magic line where the
Well, like in the situations though, right? Because you had unable, unwilling, willing, unable.
oh, R3 is
Everyone, I know we're wrapping up. Just keep conversation.
I'll talk to you afterwards.
Okay. All right. Thank
Everyone
you.
get one?
Let's give Bob a hand.
Thank you.
Cool. How you guys doing? Let's all stand up real quick here. Stand up one last time. We started standing. We're going to end standing. All right, let's just stretch out our arms real quick. Let's just do a couple stretches. Swing those arms. Don't hit your neighbor. Maybe it's doing stretches like this. All right. Oh, all right. You guys can stand or you can sit. It's up to you. I know it's the end of the day. I'm going to try and be quick here. All right. So my question to you guys is, overall pulse, was it good, bad, ugly? Good. Good? Okay. Now, do you think that we should continue this? Or is this like, dude, that was like, hell, I don't know if I want to go through another day of that. Was it something that was valuable if we changed even the topics or something like that? Is that something you guys are interested in doing more of? Yes. Remember, we're in a black church, okay? I'm trying to reemphasize that. Yes, no? Come on. I want to hear.
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. All right, and that's nothing to be racist. That's just we want to be expressive here. All right, now, smart talent. This is an opportunity for you guys to think about. This isn't just a pitch for MMEC. This is a pitch because one of our #1 issues in the nation, not only Montana, is workforce and what? Talent. Okay? So one of the biggest challenges we have is we're competing for breadcrumbs, right? It's so hard to find anybody. Anyone that's out there, they're not even employable. How many of you guys have said that or heard that? Okay? So now I'd ask you this question. How do you, as your organization, you're representing your organization, how do you become the employer of choice?
Pay more money.
That's what everyone wants to do, is throw more money at it, right? That might be part of the solution, but you're like, but we can't afford that. We're already paying them as much as we can, Shane. You don't understand how my business works. Our margins are thin. And when my customers change their mind, they'd even get more razor thin, right? So how do we deal with this situation? Resolve manufacturing workforce challenges using smart talent systems. So we have a sister organization. MMEC is not isolated. We're part of a national network, in case you guys didn't know it. There's a center like us in every state. Our job is to serve small to medium-sized manufacturers. If you're the big boys, which we don't have any in Montana, they're less than 500 employees, you guys don't have the resources to pay a huge consulting fee, or you don't have the resources to have somebody internally. So we want to help you guys be successful. That's our mission, is to help grow Montana's economy by making sure you guys succeed. So smart talent, this is what it does. It helps us deal with the workforce and talent challenges. You guys ever have these problems here? I can't find employees. I can't find good employees. Just somebody to show up for work, right? All right? I can't keep people. High turnover. You guys have any turnover challenges? Come on, let's be real, right? Let's be real with where we're at. That red, you see that red there? That's like, okay, we might need to focus on that. Maybe our onboarding is non-existent. You ever been thrown into an organization, sink or swim? I just need you to figure this out. I don't have time to train you. They don't say that, but that's really what they're kind of saying by throwing you in there. We got these challenges, right? How do we deal with training, okay? Can't train people fast enough. It takes us 12 months or it takes us 90 days to get somebody proficient on our CNC. It takes us somebody in electropolish forever to actually get proficient at that. We just don't change that over. We have 1 or 2 people that know how to do that. We can't train anyone else. We don't have time to train them to do that. I'm giving crazy examples, but I'm telling you guys, this is a huge deal. What if you guys could reduce your training by 50%? Would you be all in? Would that be helpful? Okay. What if you guys could impact your turnover by 30%? Would you be, oh, he's starting to get my attention a little bit. What if you could get rid of non-value added activities by 20% at least? What's non-value added activity? Anything that's not adding value to the product in terms of the customer's perspective. It's not done right the first time. It's not changing the fit, form, or function, and the customer's not willing to pay for it. That's the definition. If you guys come into my Operational Excellence program, you'll find out exactly what that stuff is all about. But here's the deal. Can't fill higher level positions. You guys ever have challenges trying to get managers or leaders, or even to train them internally so you hire outward? You guys have those kind of challenges? Okay. Nobody over here? You guys are all good? Okay. All right, succession planning, no leadership skills. Leadership, that's why we're focusing on this today, but this is a huge thing. These are challenges that we really have. How many of you guys have career ladders and development paths established? Everyone knows, hey, if I get this skill level, I know exactly what I'm going to be paid. It's not based on your opinion of what I think I can do. It's based on exact skills that I know I can get, and I have career ladders. What about compensation and performance management? You guys have some of that stuff in place? Competency, development. You guys are specific. You're not just, hope is not a strategy, right? We're actually being very clear, and we have a set schedule on how we're doing and developing our people. All right, here's kind of an overall view of what smart talent could look like. You start over here, you have your job analysis model. You're going to look at each one of your tasks. You're going to break it down. Then you're going to build some job modules. It's not just work instructions. We're going to have it very specific with some pictures and very easy to read. It's not like that huge ISO thing where you guys have to go through and nobody reads that because it's mind-numbing and they're like, dude, I'm going to shoot myself. Stuff that they can actually understand. We're going to build those. We're going to stack job modules by job role to build development paths. You guys have job development paths? If you're kind of fuzzy on that, you probably don't. Then you're going to link those paths to career ladders. Then what do? We get our overlay, our pay, and our performance management to where now, I'm telling you, in the next 3 years, if you get this skill level, all of these things are measurable, you can make $20 an hour. There's no questions about it. You know exactly what you need to do to get there. There's a clear path, right? It's nice when you actually have a path to be able to get somewhere. What are the typical results? 50% or greater decrease in training time. We just talked about that. 25% reduction in non-value added work. 25% increase in accessible hiring pool. Would you guys be interested when they could actually come in and you could show them, hey, this is our career path for this. This isn't just a job. Here's our career path for this kind of thing. In the next 3 to 5 years, this is what you could actually make. So now you actually have, in an interview, you have the ability to say, I could become the employer of choice. You're not begging people to come work for you. People are begging to work for you. Well, what if we flip the script? Am I on drugs? Or could this be reality that, like, hey, we can do something about our talent pipeline, and we can do something about it? 15% reduction in employee loss in the first 90 days. How many of you guys have issues where you're like, they just don't work out? That would have never worked out, that person. First 90 days, that guy was a loser. Come on. How many of you guys you guys don't say those words, but that's what you're thinking, right? Okay? All right, increased rate of internal promotion versus outside hires. These are real stats that we are actually having over this last year over in Oregon. They are mentoring us. We have all their material. We're rolling this out in Montana. We have full support. If you guys need help with this, we can help you guys. So it's not just because we want your money. We want to help you guys. All right, operational excellence. Here's another thing. Getting ready to close. Register. This thing is an 8-week program. You guys want to be best in class in terms of manufacturing? SME is the Society of Manufacturing Engineers. Shane went through it. Tad, you went through it. Steve in the back. Who else? Deb, John, Matt. Who else took the class here that I'm forgetting? There was like 12 of us this last time. We're doing this here October 2nd, November 20th, weekly on Tuesdays. It's a deep dive on best practices. So you guys can figure out how to apply lean manufacturing principles, not just talk about training, actually apply it and move the needle. So if you guys are interested in that, you should have been getting emails. You should have probably gotten barraged. I know there's been a lot of emails. We're trying to figure that out and trying to reduce it. But we're trying to figure out how we get you guys to have some tools and availability to change things in your workplace. Any questions? It's been a full day, right? So I want you guys to let us know. We've got a survey. Could somebody help grab these surveys over here? We have physical surveys. You're going to get an email too. You're like, well, why did I do 2 surveys? They're the same thing. You can do them right now, which we prefer because you're never going to do it if you get an email probably. So before you leave, we want you guys to be open and honest about this survey. Let us know what we can improve. If you guys have ideas on other workshops we can do, we want to hear about it. Because I want to thank let's thank again all the presenters. Come on, I mean, let's just give them a hand. All these presenters were not paid, guys. They came in and volunteered on their own dime. They're here for you guys today. We had so much interest. We have more tomorrow. We have over 20-some people. If you guys have people that you couldn't get here today, we still have space tomorrow. Come see me if you still want people. I'm even willing to let people come in for free if they don't get lunch. What's that? No.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Go ahead and grab those. It's
Why don't you publicly shame me?
That's all right. The survey. It's in the very back one. All right. We just tried to bring a little confusion. That was actually a test. Cam was trying to see if you guys were paying attention. That was really good. Awesome. So let us know if there's other areas that you guys feel like there's challenges in your organization. It may not be leadership. Maybe it's team development. You were even mentioning that earlier. Maybe it's something about where you guys want to figure out how to deal with the employee turnover situation. Maybe there's some things in terms of benefits. What is it? We have several partners and people on our team. We have Bob Marsenich. We have Tad. We have people that are in the manufacturing sector. I encourage you guys to get connected with the Western Montana Manufacturing Partnership. There's all kinds of opportunities to do stuff for free. We're helping each other out. One time a month, we're going solving problems. There's also opportunity. Manufacturing Day. Have you guys ever heard of Manufacturing Day? Raise your hand. Nobody's heard of Manufacturing Day. Okay, Manufacturing Day is Friday, October 5th. Write it on your calendar. You guys should have a flyer for Manufacturing Day. I want every single one of you that can come 3 to 6 p.m. and we're going to fill up the Bonner Mill site over at Northwest Factory Finishes. We get a free tour with Brett Fred. He's the founder of Northwest Factory Finishes. They make pre-painted siding. And then we're going to also have a keynote speaker, the Manufacturer of the Year, Blackhawk Outdoor Vista. They're going to give us a 30-minute keynote speech. Lamont Cotter, humble man, very intelligent. They're well on their journey with operational excellence. So he's going to share us a little bit about that. Then there'll be some networking and opportunity for you guys to meet other manufacturers, tell other people in the community why manufacturing is good. Good paying jobs. Did you guys know that in Montana, the average wage for a manufacturing employee is 17% higher than the average salary in Montana? Good paying jobs. Did you know that for every one manufacturing job, that produces over 2.5 other jobs in other sectors of our economy in Montana? This is stats from last year. It's good for our economy. They're not dirty sweatshop jobs. You guys know I'm preaching the choir. You don't have to be on the floor necessarily even assembling. You can be a CNC programmer. You can be an engineer. You can do sales. You can do marketing. Many people have no idea what we do, guys. Do you know that? Most people don't know that manufacturing is good. So we need to flip the script. So this is our first time doing it here in Missoula. I want a huge turnout. I want to be able to tell Britt by Friday and say, hey, you know what? We're already at 100 people. We need to open the doors wider. Can you guys do that for me? Can you guys commit to tonight? I'm going to RSVP for this thing. I'm going to obviously ask my boss if I can get off early and come at 3 o'clock. But what if we had a massive showing of manufacturers to actually communicate to people? I want you to understand that this is important to me. What about your kids? How many of you guys have families? Would you like your kids to stay here in Montana? This is personal to me. I grew up in Montana. I want our youth to see that there's a career opportunity, and it could be manufacturing. You can't force them to do what they want to do, but this is a viable option, guys. What if we told people that, hey, manufacturing is a good option? A lot of your kids have no idea what manufacturing is. Next year, I want to blow this thing up and actually get school systems involved in this. It was too small, too short of a window to do it big, but this next time I want to actually do it larger to where we get school systems even starting at 5th grade, because they say people by 6th grade, kids are already knowing have an idea of what they want to do. Isn't that crazy? They're already thinking of that early at like 6th grade. It's too late to start when you get into 6th, 7th, 8th grade. We need to start earlier. So if you have kids, get them to come on these tours. Even have them come to manufacturing day. If you guys have a family, bring them with you. Okay? Sorry, I'm off my soapbox, but I'm passionate about manufacturing. I'm passionate about what you guys do. Get connected with the partnership. Come talk to some of these presenters here. This is just us dipping our feet in the water. There's so much talent here on this team. I want you guys to realize that, you know what, we're going to have other opportunities because Bob could have probably went on for 3 days. BD could have probably went on for 3 days. Cam could have went on for 3 days. Everyone here on this team, Steve, everyone could have done something significantly in terms of what they have expertise in, but we wanted to give you guys an overview, and hopefully you guys got something out of it. So, awesome. Thank you guys for your time, and let's stay in touch. You guys have a good rest of your day. Did I miss anything?